Okay, now let's move on to the next type of classification, that is based on their intermolecular forces. Fourth classification, based on molecular forces. See students, these polymers, they find its use in various fields, and depending on its various mechanical properties like their elastic properties, or their toughness, or their high tensile strength. So these mechanical properties depends on the molecular forces which are present in these polymers, like van der Waals forces, hydrogen bonding. So we are going to now classify the polymers in different types on the basis of the molecular forces present. Let's classify it. Okay, so here the first one, it is elastomers. Second one, it is fibers. Third one, it is thermoplastic. And the last one is thermostatic. Okay, so let's start with this thermoplastic first. We are going to write some points so as to make it clear. First, elastomers, they are rubber-like solids. Elastomers are the rubber-like solids having elasticity. Okay. Second point we can write, they are having the weakest intermolecular forces. Because of the presence of weakest intermolecular forces, they can be stretched. Now, because they are stretched but they do not lose their shape, they can be stretched back. Okay, they can be retract back. So, a few crosslinks are present between the chains. So what we are saying, a few crosslinks are present between the chains so as to retract its original position after the force is removed. So what we can say about the elastomers, they are rubber-like solids having the elasticity, they are having the weakest intermolecular forces, a few crosslinks are present between the chains so as to retract its original position whenever the force is removed. And in this category, students, the various examples of rubbers can be placed. For example, vulcanized rubber or natural rubber you can write, Buna S you can write, Buna N you can write. Okay, natural rubber. So all of them are having the elastic properties and they are termed as elastomers. Now let's move on to the next one, fibers. Fibers are the thread forming solids. They are the thread forming solids having high tensile strength. Second point we can write over here, they are having strong intermolecular forces. They are having the strong intermolecular forces, and because of these strong intermolecular forces like hydrogen bonds, they are present in them, they are having the closely packed chains. They are having the closely packed chains and giving it a crystalline structure. Okay, and here we can take the example of polyamide, that is nylon 6,6, or you can take the example of polyester, that is terylene. So various examples you can write in the fibers. So what we had seen in the fibers, the intermolecular forces are strong, and in the elastomers the intermolecular forces are the weakest. And the rubbers, all type of rubbers, whether it is natural or synthetic, they will be coming in the category of elastomers, and polyamides and polyesters, they will be coming in the category of fibers. Now let's move on to the third type, that is the thermoplastic. Here we will write down linear or slightly branched. Linear or slightly branched molecules. Linear or slightly branched molecules capable of repeatedly softening on heating and hardening on cooling. So thermoplastic, they are linear or slightly branched molecules, or you can say polymeric chains. They are having capable of repeatedly softening on heating and hardening on cooling. Second point we can write, can be reused. Okay, and third point, intermolecular forces, they are intermediate between the two, that is fibers and the elastomers. So I am writing intermolecular forces are intermediate between fibers and elastomers. Okay, and here we can write the example polythene. We can take the example of polystyrene. We can take the example of polyvinyl chloride. So all these examples, they will be coming in the category of thermoplastic. And now the last one, it is thermosetting. Okay, so let's see the thermosetting. These are cross-linked or heavily branched. These are the cross-linked or heavily branched molecules, or you can say the linear chains. Cross-linked or heavily branched molecules, or the linear chains, which on heating undergoes extensive cross-links, which on heating undergoes extensive cross-links in the molds and again become infusible. That means it cannot be reused again. seen thermosetting are those polymers which cannot be reused again. And here we are going to take the example of bakelite. Okay, various other examples, melamine, formaldehyde resin also. We will take it in this category. Write it. Melamine, formaldehyde resin. Okay, so here we had written two examples. Now, based on the molecular forces, we had seen that there can be of four types: elastomers, fibers, thermoplastic and thermosetting. Now students, let's move on to the next topic, that is the rubber. In this we are going to discuss about the natural rubber and the synthetic rubber. Let's start with that topic. Rubber. When we are talking about the rubber, we will take it in two categories. The first one, it is natural rubber. See, the natural rubber, it is also, or you can say rubber, it is also called as an elastomer, and they are having the elastic properties, and because of this elastic property they can be used in various fields. Now this rubber, it is obtained from the latex, rubber latex, which is actually a colloidal dispersion of rubber in water, and it is this latex, it is obtained from the bark of the tree. Now let's see what do we mean by this natural rubber chemically, what is the monomer of this natural rubber and how it forms the structure of natural rubber. Let's see that. I'll draw the structure of the monomer, and that is isoprene. Isoprene, it is the monomer of the natural rubber. CH2 double bond C, CH3, CH double bond CH2. This is isoprene, this is the monomer of the natural rubber. When it undergoes polymerization, then it forms cis poly 1,4 isoprene. And this cis poly 1,4 isoprene, or you can say cis 1,4 polyisoprene, it is called as the natural rubber. I'll draw the structure over here. See, CH2, then we will write C, the single bond, it will be converting into double bond, and double bond will convert into single bond, and this valency will get free. This is having CH3 group attached, double bond CH, CH2. Another molecule of isoprene will combine with it, CH2, C, CH3, double bond CH, CH2, and its valency will be free, and we will write N. So it is cis 1,4 polyisoprene, and this is called as the natural rubber. Natural rubber, it is the polymer of isoprene. This natural rubber, it is the cis form, okay, and this is having the weak van der Waals forces, and it is having a coil structure, and because of this it can be stretched. But because this natural rubber is having some properties which needs to be improved, therefore we go for a process that is called as vulcanization. So first we should know what properties of natural rubber needs to be improved, and then how it is improved. So the properties of the natural rubber, like they become soft. They become soft on heating, like temperature greater than 335 Kelvin. Okay, and when when at a lower temperature, they becomes brittle. Brittle at low temperature, that is less than 283 Kelvin. Okay, so on heating they become soft, and on cooling, that is at low temperature below 283 Kelvin, they becomes brittle. They have high water absorption capacity. They are having high water absorption capacity, as well as they are having non-resistant. They are non-resistant to attack by oxidizing agents. They are soluble in non-polar solvents. So to improve all these properties, the vulcanization of the natural rubber is done. Now what is vulcanization? That means the natural rubber is heated at a required temperature in the presence of sulfur, and this sulfur forms the cross links at the reactive sites of the double bond. So you should know what is the need of vulcanization, then how the vulcanization is here done. Heating the natural rubber with the sulfur at a temperature range, and in that the sulfur forms the cross links at the reactive sites of the double bond. So let's write the structure, how it forms the cross links. If I write the same structure of isoprene, CH2, C, CH3, CH, CH2. Okay, so here what we are writing? See, here the double bond has converted into single bond, and the single bond will convert into double bond, and here we will write S. So here this bond will also break and sulfur cross links will be formed. Like this, the sulfur will form the cross links and the stiffening of the natural rubber takes place. In the tire rubber, the rubber tire, the 5% sulfur is used as a cross linking agent. Now after this vulcanization, we will discuss some of the synthetic rubbers, and in that synthetic rubbers we will take 3 examples. The first one, it is neoprene. Second one, it is Buna S, that we had already discussed, and the third one we will take Buna N. So the second one, it is synthetic rubber. Okay, so in this first we will take neoprene. In the neoprene, the monomeric unit, it is chloroprene. CH2 double bond C, Cl, CH double bond CH2. So the name of this monomer, it is chloroprene. CHLORO prene, PRENE. When it undergoes polymerization, it's going to form neoprene. So neoprene, it is one of the synthetic rubber. Let's write its structure. The double bond will convert into single, and single will convert into double. CH2, C, Cl, CH, CH2. Okay, second example we will take of Buna S, that we had already discussed. In that we are going to take buta-1,3-diene, CH2 double bond CH, CH, CH2. This is buta-1,3-diene. When it combines with styrene, styrene, it is CH2 double bond CH and C6H5. This is styrene. Now N molecules of this as well as N molecules of buta-1,3-diene, they polymerizes and they will form the Buna S. Now let's write the structure. How we will write? Again we will start with this CH2 group, CH2. Now double bond will convert into single, CH double bond CH. Now double bond will convert into single and it will be CH2 and the free valency. Now it will combine with the CH2. So we will write CH2 single bond CH, and C6H5 we will write on the lower side, and one valency will get free. This is called as Buna S. And the third example, it is of Buna N. So here again the same buta 1,3-diene I am going to take. Buta diene, but here we are going to take acrylonitrile, that is CH2 double bond CH Cn. Vinyl cyanide, this is acrylonitrile. Now when it polymerizes, it forms Buna N. How we will write the structure? In exactly same manner as we had done for Buna S. Let's write the structure. CH2 double single bond CH double bond CH, CH2 CH2 CH, and here the cyanide group will be written and it will be N. So this is Buna N. In this way we had discussed three synthetic rubbers, that is neoprene, Buna S and Buna N.